Good morning everybody. Today I want to talk to you about creativity and how to maintain it on a regular basis. And I want to be honest with you, I struggle to come up with new ideas all the time. I publish a video once every 2 weeks, and with every single video I try my damn hardest to come up with something interesting or educational. Okay, let me share with you the behind the scenes, the thought process, what's going on up here when it comes to making YouTube videos. First of all, I feel like I'm making high quality content. Hopefully it's helpful for other photographers such as yourself, and it's both authentic and on brand. But that's not enough to be successful on YouTube. You've got to go the extra level. You've got to provide that something special. So for example, a couple of videos ago, I made a video about photographing bluebells in the woodland. And I did a similar video the year before, and maybe even the year before that. So what can I do to make you click on my bluebell video and not somebody else's? And in that instance, that video wasn't really about photographing bluebells at all. It was more to do with heading out with minimal amount of gear, less decision making, better imagery. Therefore, I need to come up with a creative idea once every fortnight to make a YouTube video. And sometimes that might be at a location that I am personally bored of, because I've been there so many times. But that doesn't mean that I can't still make a great video there. Now, I'll tell you what I do. I write my ideas down. Sometimes they come to me and I'm listening to music. I might be on my commute to work, eating my dinner, watching a movie. That doesn't matter. What does matter is that you write it down, because you will definitely forget your ideas. And they're not all great ideas, but some of them stick. In addition to that, here are a few things that I personally do to stay creative. First of all, expose yourself to change. And that might mean doing something that you're not particularly comfortable with. Alternatively, that could be something really simple, like taking a different route to work. All you've got to do is switch off your brain's autopilot and make it take notice of what you're doing. In terms of doing things that are outside of your comfort zone, as photographers, we always get asked to take people's portraits, and not everybody is comfortable taking people's photographs. So next time somebody says, could you, just say yes. You're not sure where it might lead to. For example, I recently photographed and made some video of a local property, and that had a hot tub. And the photographs and the video of the people using the hot tub went on Instagram, and a hot tub company saw it. And now they've contacted me, and I'm shooting some hot tubs for their business. The next one is novel environments. Now, it's easy for me to say, well, just go and visit new places and things. I have 3 children and I've got a busy life, and I do not just get to travel anywhere I like. So I have to make the most of the locations that I visit. But something simple, just like your workstation. And just to prove that I practice what I preach, this is my home office right now, where I film all of my YouTube videos. So I was just getting a bit bored, moving some furniture around, redecorating, fixing up a few things. Anyway, back to the video. And something simple, just like redecorating, changing the desktop background on your computer, or just working in a cafe instead of at your desk. Maybe you turn your desk around. Just those little things will make your brain think something's different, and then it will just spark creativity. Collaboration, meet up with other like-minded photographers. I'm always amazed, even though I stand within a few meters of my friends, how they interpret the same scene differently. We can walk away from the same place with completely different images. So I'm always inspired by meeting other photographers and see how they work. And finally, you should experiment with as many photographic techniques as possible and try out new camera gear whenever possible. So that is what has inspired today's video, a new piece of camera gear. This is an anamorphic lens from Sirui, and some of you might see a piece of camera equipment, whereas I see a personal challenge. Now, this is capable of creating really wide angle, epic looking images, and that's what you go to the cinema to see. Quite a lot of the movies you watch at the cinema are shot with anamorphic lenses, and you get a very wide angle, bespoke looking image. So this is very capable, but it's very difficult to work with. Anamorphic lenses are manual focus only. The image is distorted on the back of the camera, so you have to de-squeeze it in order for it to look good. And then finally, this has got a minimum focusing distance of about 1 meter, which makes it very difficult to film yourself. But now that I've got this piece of equipment, which I paid for with my own money, I feel like I need to justify it by creating something awesome. I needed something futuristic looking that was cool and showcased the lens flares. I was going to need a lightsaber. I reached out to Sirui as I'd seen that they make an RGB tube light, and I've featured many of their tripods and lights on this channel before, and they kindly obliged by sending me one to review. Alright, now that we've got this tube light, we need a bit of atmosphere. Okay, here we go. Whoa! Okay, I think we might need to take this outside. Accompanied by Louise Welcome, kindly modelling the light here, we ventured out into the dark to do a bit of light painting, set off some smoke grenades, and generally just create an epic looking scene. Of course, this is just a fantasy of mine to become a real Jedi, which is absolutely ridiculous, but great fun. Why not? Add some sound effects and an arch nemesis, and we could have something interesting on our hands. The gear in this instance was the catalyst to create something awesome. Once I had the light, the only limitation was my creativity. Now obviously this light is not just meant to be used as a lightsaber, it does have some real world uses as well. Okay, this afternoon I'm going to be photographing a chocolate shop. My wife's friend owns a chocolate shop and she hasn't got any good photos or videos of all of her products, so I am going to be taking with me the Sirui tube light and also the Sirui panel which I reviewed last year, the E30B. So these are my two lights. I need to concentrate on the job, so I'm not going to be talking you through exactly what I'm doing, but I'll shoot some behind the scenes and I'll show you some of the end results. When shooting product photography, the unique shape of a tube light is way more beneficial when you compare it to a square or rectangular light. Take this scene here of a camera. First, with Sirui's small diffused square LED panel, the Doucan M6, then with a larger LED panel, the E30B, and then finally the Sirui T60 tube light. The small light creates a hotspot in the middle, unless you were to bring it further away, and then the light quickly falls off. And although the larger panel creates a softer quality of light, the T60 tube light creates a sharper, more defined edge, which is perfect for metallic or glossy products, which is predominantly what I shoot B-roll of. I guess it's about time that I actually told you a little bit about this light. So this is the Sirui T60 tube light, and it is unique because there's a metal ring on the end, and if you pull that out, you can see that it extends to about double its length. So this is particularly handy because the length of that will fit inside your camera bag, whereas if you bought a tube light which was that long, that's not going to fit in your bag. Overall, the product is made of plastic. It's got a bit of weight to it. I'll put the specs up here so that you can see how much this weighs, but I wouldn't say it's overly heavy. The main grip is a good size, okay? The battery is in the main grip here, and that's why predominantly quite a bit of the weight is actually in the handle. So there are a few ways to control the light actually. It's got a controller here which will work when it's attached. You can detach it and it's still connected. Alternatively, you can scan this QR code, download the app, and you can control it entirely from your phone. So on the front of the light, you've got these ridges here which will give you a good grip. Above that is your power switch, which you can use your trigger finger to switch on and off. Above that is your socket input to charge. The batteries are inside the handle again. And then just underneath the handle, you see that there is a miniature tripod, which is handy for just resting it down like that. Alternatively, once you've extended it out to its full length, having a two-handed grip is actually quite handy. So that is serving two purposes. You've got mini tripod and a double grip. This does not light in all directions, so it's not like an actual lightsaber. It does not light 360 degrees. It is a front-facing light, and on the back it's branded Sirui. I don't really need to cover the features in too much detail because this is the same feature set as all of the other Sirui lights that I've reviewed. I'll put another one up here. In terms of controlling this on a day-to-day basis, once the remote is removed, if you switch this on and off, it literally just returns to the last feature that you had it on. So if you lose this, you're going to have to rely upon the app to control it, because now you've only got an on and an off switch. That's it. I've got 2 recommended improvements for Sirui. First of all, I would love for this thing to have magnets, because I've got some other lights which are just magnetic. You can stick it to a car, you can stick it to your desk. I've got a magnetic wall inside my office, and it really is just a really handy feature. The second thing is, when Louise and I were out light painting with this, we were obviously in the dark, and the screen has got a tiny amount of brightness to it, but the buttons are not backlit. So in terms of using this in the dark for light painting or just lighting up a scene, I needed another torch in order to illuminate this to see what I was doing. So minor things, but I think that would really make the product perfect. Overall though, I think this is a pretty awesome product, and I'm going to be using this a whole bunch in future videos. That entire evening of messing around but having fun at the same time, just creating light painting and everything, was inspired by a lens and a light. And although some of you might think I'm completely obsessed with gear, and I do like tech, I'm not collecting gear just for the sake of it. I use every single piece of equipment that I have. If I don't, I just sell it or I give it away. The reason that I enjoy camera equipment is because it inspires me to make new things. When I first got a 360 camera or a GoPro, I thought, okay, up until this point, I don't have a waterproof camera. So now, where can I put this tiny little camera? Now that I've got a 360, okay, how does that work? How is that going to be different to everything else I've ever created? So in summary, I just like camera gear because I like to mix things up. Hopefully you appreciate the way that I approach these product reviews. I don't just want to sit in an office and say, this is the product, these are the specifications, and this is how you use it. I want to show you creative ways of how to use a product, how something can benefit your photography or your videos. Thanks to Sirui for sending through this light and helping me achieve a lifetime ambition of becoming a real Jedi. If you've got any questions, then let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-da! I think I accidentally just pressed it again. I think we're gonna have to take this out. Stop!